Excellent. Well, I think we can probably get started. So our presentation today is going to be about resources in HelpSeeker and primarily food resources in HelpSeeker. So thank you very much for having me today. I'm absolutely thrilled for this opportunity to share some of these resources, tips, and look really much closer at food resources for the Winnipeg area. But of course, these tips and search tips can be used amongst a lot of different areas. So my name is Nicole. I am the VP of Systems Mapping for HelpSeeker. Part of my role is coordinating the activity around systems mapping. So from research and data entry, which is going to be the systems mapping itself, to quality assurance and ensuring that there's regular updates being made, as well as meeting with the community to ensure that the systems map is representative of the community and its needs. And I also would like to take this opportunity to introduce Danielle. So she's our help desk lead. She's on the webinar today. If you have any download questions or need any help with your account, just pop them into the chat line and she will do her very best to answer all of those questions for you. I would like to start off with a land acknowledgement. Calgary HelpSeeker is a Canadian company founded in Calgary. That's where I am. I would like to extend this to anybody joining us from Winnipeg or any other area. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge living on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Îyârhe Nakoda Nations, the Métis Nation Region 3, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. Today's presentation is really going to be twofold. So one, we're going to take a look at service providers. Who are they? So we're talking about agencies, healthcare providers, shelters, food banks, counselors, anybody providing services, why it is important to have those listings updated, and then we'll take a look at just claiming your listing, managing it, what that looks like, and then once all that is done, how we can share those resources amongst our networks. Secondly, we're going to take a look at frontline providers, frontline workers. Who are they? So here we're talking about teachers, outreach workers, social workers, childcare providers, EMS, really anyone working with other people to help them connect them to resources and helpful information. We're also going to stick around for 15 minutes afterwards if anybody is interested to just kind of try it out and watch the process. I would encourage you to download the app if you haven't already. If you don't want to, you can follow along anyway, and I encourage you to do so. Excellent. So here's some of the problems that we're hearing from individuals that work in industries that rely on info and referral in their work. So client referral process is complicated. It's difficult to find the right services, relevant, accessible, what's available, and information and resources are often out of date. My son is in the Army and he just finished some training in Borden, Ontario. So last week he drove from Borden, Ontario to Alberta. And he was about 20 kilometers east of Brandon and he spun out and went off the road, and it was pretty icy conditions. He made it back on the road, everything was okay. And from the side of the road, he needed to look for a hotel, search it up, as well as he didn't want to do much more driving. So he also wanted to find a hotel that was close to a restaurant. So from his app, he was able to locate a hotel near him, find the information available, how much it cost, if they have space, as well as know if there was room for him that night. So he was able to do that whole process from the side of the road with a lot of accuracy and results. So just to kind of keep that in mind, that the process to look for food resources and shelters rarely is that straightforward. And I just couldn't imagine, what would happen if you were searching for hotels or some kind of accommodation and that information was out of date, or even worse, if there was only a few that were located and you really needed to know someone or something to be able to find additional resources. Excellent. We'll look at HelpSeeker and what we've done so far in Canada. So we're in over 200 communities across Canada. We have nearly 48,000 listings. Those are broken down, so over 21,000 locations, over 24,000 programs, over 500 benefits, as well as 490 helplines across Canada. We have over 6,000 claim listings across Canada. That's about 13%. So claim listings means who's managing those? The service providers and the agencies are themselves, Right now we're working in the Greater Toronto area. So we have mappers located across Canada as well as mapping across Canada to continue mapping the entire Canada for 2022. So pretty exciting stuff there. We'll look a little bit closer at Manitoba. Here's some of the listings we have for Manitoba. So 3,400 across Manitoba, and you can see the breakdown there. For interactions, I just wanted to draw attention. So 8,300 interactions for Manitoba. An interaction is anytime that a client or someone interacts with those listings. So whether they're searching for them directly, linking to their website, phoning them up, that would be an interaction. I've even broken it down a little more specifically to take a look at Winnipeg. So I was originally part of the initial mapping of Winnipeg, so this is pretty exciting for me. We started mapping in November 2019, so a year ago. Since then, we've remapped for COVID. We've also done updates for COVID relaunches, and we're continuously always updating that systems map to reflect any new changes that come about. So for food resources, we have 178. When you take a look at those and you want to know which ones offer free food resources, for Winnipeg right now, that is 97. We have 425 claimed listings already for Winnipeg. So that's about 25% claim rate. And we can compare that to Canada at 13%. So 1 in 4 listings currently available is updated by the provider themselves. So really nice. Here's a breakdown a little bit further of what those categories look like. I really wanted to point out, if you notice on the bottom left there, info and referral. I found this really interesting, and we see this across communities. 700 agencies offer info and referral services. So that is more than shelter, housing, food, clothing, employment, transportation, financial resources, and showers combined. So that's a lot. So when people say that their info and referral takes a lot of time, we can see why. It is not straightforward at all. And I just want, imagine what you could do if 700 providers weren't spending the majority of their time doing info and referral, how much time you could get back in administrative tasks and paperwork and follow up. So we'll dive right into the listings themselves. So here's some information on the listings. Again, one of the main purposes, or one of the main points here is that we really, in order to know what's up to date and have that understanding about a community, it's really important that those listings are up to date. So who manages the listings? Well, service providers themselves do. Agencies ideally do. Over 6,000 already are doing so. So the goal is to have, of course, everybody managing their own listings. When they're not managed by service providers, HelpSeeker is doing those regular updates and quality assurance on them. What do I need to include? So of course we need to include contact information and a description, a little bit of information about your location. We will look closer at what is needed and what's nice to have and what's an optional field. What are tags? So we'll take a look at those. That's how they're classified in the back end, and then how people search for them in the front end and how they kind of correlate with each other. How often is the information updated? So we're saying, if you have a program that has been providing the same services for a period of time and it continues to do so, you would maybe need to check in and update it seasonally, make sure that all the information is accurate and up to date. But with COVID and things changing awfully quickly, there's no limit to how many times you could do it. And I would say as needed, definitely, if not, checking in more often, once a month, to make sure that those are really up to date. It shouldn't take, as soon as you update your listing, it is live and live for the public and for clients to see. So there's no wait time between when you update it for new information and for that to be available. We're saying, it shouldn't take any longer than it would to update your Facebook profile. So not terribly onerous on the service providers time, as well as HelpSeeker will send occasional reminders about updating your listing. Is there a cost? No, there's not. There's no cost for service providers to list with HelpSeeker. There's also no cost for anybody using HelpSeeker to find those resources. Do I need special technology? Yes, a computer and internet or a smartphone. And then what? So what happens with your listing after it's updated? And I'm just going to show you your listing and how you can share that with clients and others. So we have 2 examples here. On the left-hand side, this is an example of what a user would see if they were interacting with your listing on the website. So they can find, basic contact information, and they can also connect to it directly. There's a description. You can gather if there's any COVID updates. As well, if you were to scroll down, you'd see if there was any other associated programs with it. Now, I really wanted to draw your attention to this copy link button. So what that does is it actually allows you to have a website link for your listing yourself. So what you see on the right-hand side is an example of a listing there on HelpSeeker with its own link. This is some of the information that's included. So we can see right off the top if it's owned and if it's being managed by the service provider themselves or HelpSeeker. So this one is claimed. Hours of operation, whether it's wheelchair accessible, eligibility requirement, are all optional, but very nice to have fields. What we're really looking for here, some of the fields that are mandatory, is contact information. So whether it's a telephone number, email, or website, an address where to find your program, and of course a description. Just look a little bit closer here at the listing and just the slide next to it. So in order to claim your profile, like I said, it's completely free for service providers to claim their listings, manage them. So what would happen is you would go to our website, it's at the top here, www.helpseeker.org. And on the top right-hand side, there is a button that says join us. You would click on that and it's going to open a field, a page with fields in it. If you fill them out, they will go to help desk and you will get your password and sign-in information provided right at your email. Here we go from the back end. So from the back end to manage your listing. So you've claimed your listing is up there. We have a couple different options here. Edit is going to allow you to just open those fields and verify the information and add additional information. We have what we call tags, and here they are. I've just blown them up so you can see them. And this is how a service provider would categorize their service or their program for people looking. So this matches directly with people looking for the services. This is one of the ways they would find it. And as you can see there, I just kind of highlighted some other information that can be provided on this listing, including a COVID update at the bottom there. Again, this is from the back end just to give you kind of a different view on some of the fields that you would see. So one of the things that we can do with our listings is we have 23 languages that they can be translated into, including French and English. This is available from the back end. It's also available on our app, and you can check it out there. We can also, eligibility, I thought was a neat category here to highlight. When we map food banks, especially in different areas, we often see different eligibility requirements, such as you need to bring ID, or perhaps you need to bring mail with an address and a name on it. So this would be just an example on how you could use that field to make sure that the clients are showing up prepared with the documents that they need. There is no limit to how many programs you can add as well. So if you have an agency that offers, several, 10 or so programs, you can add them all. It's no problem, as well as you can add additional locations. So if you have an agency that has satellite locations in other areas, you can add those. They're all will join together at the end, so you can see the connection there, but they're individual listings. So I realized that was really quick at the back end. So I just wanted to highlight that, during COVID, these programs, these services, we're seeing change sometimes on a daily basis. So how important it is to make sure that information is up to date for clients and frontline workers that are looking for those services. And how we often know is through websites and Facebook and that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure that we're connecting people to those services. It's quick to initiate. So when we have different things going on in our communities, whether it's COVID or it could be anything else, there's a quick way to get that information. So it's updated live time. Eligibility criteria we discussed. Advertisement, I didn't draw a lot of attention to this, but there is an option for you to add your own picture. And I'm actually going to go back just so you can see a little bit here. So you can add your own picture and images right to the listing itself. Excellent. And of course, you can be part of the bigger picture. So, and just thinking about my son here, I just, again, couldn't imagine if that information was out to date. So how important it is to just keep that available and up to date. Here we go. So I like to think that this is where the magic happens. We're going to take a look at the app itself. So again, this download is completely free. Danny is on standby. If you have any download questions, do pop them into the chat, and she's there to try to answer and sort those out. So how can I search other areas in my city, or can I? So our app is geolocation based. So when you sign in, when you download the app, it's going to ask you if you want to enable your location. That's going to allow the services and programs to be relevant to your area. But of course, I'm in Calgary and I'm interested in looking for things in Winnipeg. That's possible. I just need to move my map to that location and I can search there. I will show you how to do that. How do I search specific services? We have an advanced search that includes over 80 categories, so lots to choose from. We'll take a look at what programs are available. Yes, you can connect right to the app. You can connect to telephone, email, or website. How do I share the results? That's one of the best parts. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then helplines and benefits and how to access those from the app. We'll look at those. So jumping right in. All right, so we have a couple neat things here. So once you have the app downloaded, you're going to see a view that's going to look very similar to this. I'm using a Samsung phone, but I do know on the Apples, they're very similar. There might be a couple menu items that are a little bit reversed, but overall the idea is going to be the same. So we have a smart search bar. Now, like I said, I'm in Calgary. If I want to search for services in Winnipeg, I'm going to type Winnipeg in the search bar and it's going to move my map to Winnipeg. From there, I have several options to search for. So I can search in the search bar itself. I can add information about services I'm looking for. I like to use I'm hungry as an example. So if I click on I'm hungry, it's going to link me to food resources. We leverage in our smart search bar also leverages machine learning and AI. So what does that mean? It means that the language you use will help match to the services that are relevant to you, as well as throughout time, our smart search bar becomes smarter, helping make those connections. So very interesting technology there. On the top right-hand side, there's a menu item here. And if you click on it, it will open to an advanced search bar. It's going to look like this. And you can select your categories that you're interested in searching for. I have selected food and free for this one. So, and I would just click on apply. And it's going to bring me a list of relevant food resources. So you can see at the top here, it says 2 out of 2 matches. Now what that means is because we search for 2 different categories, food and free, it's going to tell me how many matches there are that hit both of those criteria. So we can see all of these and it's going to scroll down quite a ways, 2 out of 2 matches. After that, it's going to list all the food resources and then all the free resources. So first it's going to let me know which ones directly hit my match. And then as I scroll down, they're going to become less relevant, but still could be very important. Once I've decided on which food resource I'm interested in, I just simply click on it. And it's going to open the information for that resource itself. So right from here, I can see a variety of information, contact information, a description. I can even see the hours. I can connect to this all directly. I did want to point out at the top, there's a couple really neat functions. So, and I'll just kind of walk you through them here. So this one here, it's get route. So it's going to connect you to a Google map, which is going to allow you to push in the address. You can find out the distance, walking, driving by cars, the same way Google would work with other applications. Go to is gonna, if you click on this, it's gonna take you to the HelpSeeker map and let you know where the location is, in correlation to where you are or other programs are. It just says send here. This means send review. We have 2 options here. So you can send in a star rating, which is available to the public for everybody to see, to kind of reflect your experience at those agencies, as well as you can leave written feedback. Written feedback is provided to the service provider only. So that's not something that's viewable from our site, available to the service provider, but that's the function there. Saved is one of the neatest ones. So you can save your listings for later, especially if you're using and referring to the same programs over and over again as part of your work. You can save them there. It's easy. You can just connect people as you need. They're already in there. And of course, share works the same as it would to share other information that on a smartphone. So via text, email, messaging apps, and so on. And here we go. So if you were to share, you would share it just the way you would other ways. So, with a client or messaging app. So pretty straightforward. On the bottom of the screen here, so if you just kind of scroll your finger up, a menu is going to appear at the bottom with 4 icons. They do look a little bit different for Apple, but they're going to have the same functionality. So under House here, you've got a picture of a home. This is going to include all your listings. This telephone here is going to include helplines and helplines, chat lines, interactive services. This is going to be benefits. Typically, benefits are financial in nature, and they're mapped at a city, province, or federal level, or a countrywide level. And this is a really cool feature here. So favorites allows you to just click favorites, retrieve them later. It's easy, and then you can share them. Excellent. And then just as the last screen here, that menu item that was on the top left, if you click on it, it allows you to move between different languages, 23 languages, including English and French are right there. And if anybody didn't notice, there was a big red button here throughout the screenshots that I showed, and that's a escape button. So you can shut it down and it's going to reroute you, I believe, to Google or to your settings, depending on which phone you're using, and allow for a quick exit right there. So again, very quick, and really hope you were able to get kind of the juice out of that. So just a summary. So frontline workers, people that are using this in their daily work to help connect people to helping services. Lots of options for a good program fit. Completely portable. We know that the office during COVID doesn't look the same for a lot of people, not that traditional office setting. We're doing a lot of our work virtually from our cars and clients' homes. This is a portable solution. You can use it across multiple sectors. We know that they're using it, teachers are using it, social workers, outreach workers, so a variety of uses there. No sign-in and password. So anytime you're interacting with our website or you're interacting with the app and you're not updating those listings, there is no tracking. That is, nobody's tracking if it's Nicole in Calgary using it, or Sally in Winnipeg. We don't know that kind of information. There's no passwords, no login. You can use this to find your resources every time. Again, it leverages machine learning and AI, and you can share this easily with your clients. All right, so this was probably one of the things I was most excited to share with you today, and some of it's going to be a little bit new too. So this would have been very helpful in my earlier days. I was a childcare provider, and I used to do the books by hand, go across the community for a couple of weeks and collect resources to compile them into binders to share with families. And of course, that's problematic for a number of reasons, including that they're outdated almost as soon as you collect them. So this is a digital solution to here, and I'd love to share some of the things we have in store. So I need a printable guide for clients with no internet. No problem. We're able to create a lot of our stuff printable, this bulletin printable as well as online. Can we share resources lists between agencies? Yes, you can. So you can download them, you can email them, you can print them. What are some of the other ways, examples that you can use it? So we've seen them used for trauma and counseling services. We've seen them used in school districts, school communities to help connect families to those youth resources. We've also seen it for a seniors directory, as well as I've created an example for food resources in Winnipeg for today. And then of course we have new features coming soon. I don't want to give away too much there, but I have some slides that hint to some of our new stuff coming. All right, so here's the bulletin board, which is essentially a resource guide. So we have a couple options here. So we can, first of all, we're able to name our bulletin what we want. So we can title it. We can include a picture. This picture might be kind of familiar. I just pulled it from the webinar invitation. As well as we can add a short description. I did not add one here. When we create bulletins, we have the option also to section them off depending on what we're really looking on focusing. So I've done that here, and I identified some sections. So free food, food banks, senior food programs, and so on. Again, it creates an index of those services. And then right below that is just kind of one example of what those resources look like in a bulletin format. I'm going to flip to the next slide. So we do have some new options coming up here. Now you can see I have two examples. Now these are in development right now. So we have one on the left, and if you notice, we can fit a lot more on the page. They don't include descriptions. They do include a QR code for easy connection to that website and that main information. And on the right-hand side, we have included the description there just so you can see, the functionality and make sure that these resource guides are going to be really helpful to the people that are using them. As well as we have some other ideas kind of in the pipeline, and I won't talk too much about it, but one of them is the option to enable a map to allow those pins to be associated with a map so you know exactly where you're going and where it's available. And that was a very quick, 30-minute overview of HelpSeeker, the search tool, really emphasize, why it's important that we would like that information up to date, who's using it, and so on. And thank you very, very much for listening today. We do have a 15-minute kind of hands-on, try it for yourself. If you would like to stick around, again, I would encourage you to download the app and try it out. And if you want to just stick around and see what the process looks like without doing it, I encourage you to do so. And yeah, we'll probably start that in about 4 minutes. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them in the meantime. I also wanted to let you know that, systems mapping is only one thing HelpSeeker does. We do a lot of other things, and I would encourage you, if you are interested in learning more, to really visit our website. So www.helpseeker.org or www.helpseeker.co, and kind of learn about some of the other projects that we have if you're interested. Excellent. Well, I'll check questions in case anybody has anything. And again, Danny's also in the chat line. So if you have any questions or need any support, she's there to help. So we do have a question here. Is this designed to be used by individuals in need as well as service providers doing referrals? Yes, absolutely. So our platform is used for just that. So residents, clients, service providers making referrals. So it is a comprehensive systems map and online directory of those community and social services in your area. So anything that can be, helpful to a client. So, and we know lots of times there'll be a focus homelessness or domestic violence, and we know that it's important to include those wraparound services as well. So they are in there. Not only does HelpSeeker include, a variety of community and social services, it encompasses services and resources from volunteer organizations, not-for-profit, charity, private. We'll see a little bit of private organizations come in the form of counseling, typically. Lots of different information there. So great question. Excellent. I'm just going to pop my monitor off here for a moment so I can get set up with my phone so we can really see some of these examples on how it works. So I'll put it on the next slide here if you wanted to take a look at what we'll be looking at. Excellent. We have another question that came in. So this seems like a phenomenal tool and there is no cost. How is HelpSeeker funded? So great and interesting question. So this work is done in communities already a lot of the time. So typically our clients would be, as city organizations and city levels, government levels. So just kind of taking a look at what's available there. And of course, having that information just there and not being available to the public to be able to use them really doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's put forward facing just so clients can use it and interact with it. There is an option as well. So like I said, it is completely free for service providers to list their services. You get an image, you get a link to your page that you can share. You can get a link to what you share, as well as there is an option to request and to subscribe to analytic and reporting tools from the back end. So there is some options there. Excellent. All right, well, I'm just going to set up and I'll join you in about 2 minutes and we'll do a little how-to. Sorry, everyone, just getting it set up. Looks like it's going to pop up here in just a moment. So you should be able to see, let's just take a look here. You should be able to see some examples that are up there. Test it for yourself, client 1, and so on. It does look like there's a little bit of, it's just taking a moment to load, so my apologies. If you're able to, you're welcome to stop. There's some start without me. There is some helpful hints up here. If you have downloaded the app and you are located in Winnipeg, it's going to show you the Winnipeg screen right away. So I'm just going to move this over here and hopefully we can all see it. All right. So it's going to block a little bit of the screen here. Hopefully we can, oh, of course, it's going to show it backwards. Here we go. Here we go. Great. Excellent. All right. So hopefully everybody can see all right. Make sure that we're on the right screen here. Perfect. You should be able to see a phone. Danny, maybe you could unmute yourself and just make sure that you can see a telephone example on your screen.
Yeah, there's a phone on there.
Okay, perfect. Great. So our first example here, mom looking for oh, 1 second. 1 second, my apologies. All right, mom looking for a youth mentorship for her teenager in Winnipeg. So I'm in Calgary. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to find Winnipeg on the map. So from this smart search bar here, I'm going to type in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Click on Manitoba, and it's going to bring me to a map of Manitoba. Now, if I'm looking for a program for a youth and in mentorship, there's an advanced search on the top right-hand corner. So if I click on that, it's going to open a variety of over 80 categories. I'm going to scroll down to find mentoring and coaching is one of them. And we're looking for a population of youth. So I'm just going to click in youth. I'm going to click apply on the top right-hand corner. And it's going to pull up resources that match both youth and mentoring. So at the bottom here, I can see a variety of listings. Now, if I click on one, I can take a look, and here's some information that's available to me. So I can take a look. It's claimed Elmwood Community Resource Center. I have some contact information that I can link directly to. So if I was to click on the website, it's going to bring me right to that website right there. As well as eligibility, so I can see what ages this program's for, as well as an address. I have some description information. If I scroll down, it'll let me know where that location is and if there's any other programs associated with it. So when I scroll down, I can see that there's other programs that they offer as well. Once I find a program I'm interested in, I can just click on it directly. I can either save it, so it shows up in my saved save bank, or I can share it with a friend just by clicking on the save button right here. So that's how I would do that. I'm just going to go back here and we'll take a look and see if we can find another resource here. So I'll move the phone just a little bit so we can read it. Client 2, an individual looking for suicide help for a friend. The friend is looking for 24-hour help or a crisis line. So helplines, I kind of just will go back here to the main screen of Winnipeg. So here from the advanced search, I can unselect all, which is this button here. I'm going to create a new search. I'm looking for, so I'll click on the advanced search. Whoops. Okay, and we're going to look for suicide resources. We do have a tag for that, a category. It's right here. Okay, and I'm going to click apply. Now this is going to give me a list of listings that are available. If I scroll up to the bottom, I can click on helpline, and I can find out if there's any helplines or chat lines that meet those matches. So I can see that there's 13 As soon as I find one that I think is going to be what I'm looking for, I can click on it. From there, I can share it to whomever I'm interested in sharing it with. I can also save it for later, add a review, and so on, connect to the website or email directly. Excellent. We'll go back to listings here. Client 3. Let's just move this out of the way. A client in Winnipeg, Manitoba is experiencing hunger. This I find really interesting. This is one of my examples from earlier. So in our smart search bar, if I was to type, I'm hungry, and this will work for a variety of other things. So you could type in, I'm sad, I feel overwhelmed, and it's going to link you to mental health resources and so on. So I'm going to click in, I'm hungry, hit enter. And if you notice at the top here, we'll just erase the suicide here. This was our last search. It's going to link us to food resources available. So again, take a look at those 178 available for Winnipeg in particular. Again, I'm going to find that food resource, click on it, and I can share it the same way I would. Now, if I was wanting to use the advanced search, again, I can just select food. I can also select free and hit apply, and it's going to let me know what's available for free resources in Winnipeg. Just a couple ways that's used. I wish there was a way to understand how many senior services there are available and how they're located on the map. So again, we'll just kind of close down our searches, create a new search. We're going to take a look for seniors. So seniors isn't going to be as much a program. It's going to be a population focus. Of course, we can narrow that down by selecting more tags, and then we'll see how many there is matched at the top. So I'm going to select seniors, click apply, and I can see in the Winnipeg area there's 507 services that have been tagged seniors. So, and I can look through them one on one. Now, if we were to use that same seniors match, and we were interested in knowing, what's available for seniors and food, I could select both of those, hit apply, and it's going to let me know which ones have both met my requirement of seniors and food right here. Once I scroll down, may or may not be tagged food or seniors, just one of them. So we can see kind of a lot of options there that we might be needing. It is hard to access program information in French or other languages. So again, here, right from the main menu, mine on an Android is going to be on the top left. If I click, it's going to open a menu. And right from here, there's a button languages. If I click on it, I have the option of over 23 languages. So I can select French. It's going to change our platform into French, asking me if I need COVID help. No, thank you. And so on. I'm going to put mine back to English. Excellent. And last one, I need a solution where I can compile a list of resources to select and share them. So again, here, this is, if we scroll to the bottom and we see the bottom menu pop up, which is right here, and we are to click on the one on the bottom right-hand side. This is going to be our favorites tab. It's going to open all of the listings that I have tagged as favorites. So if I'm referring regularly within my work to these same organizations, I would probably keep them in my favorites. So if I have somebody that's in need, I would just click on it and I would share it the way you would share other information via text. I'll leave this up for a couple minutes. So you can play around with it. I encourage you to do so. If you're looking for another area, just a reminder, if you're looking to find a service for somebody not in your area, family, friend, somewhere else, if you use the smart search bar, so just up here, and you specify the area you're looking in, perhaps you want to look in Brandon, you can select that right from a map. Make sure we get Brandon, Manitoba, of course. Here we go. And our map's going to move so we can see services in that area. Excellent. And I just wanted to thank everybody one more time for joining me today and learning a little bit about HelpSeeker and how you search. And I encourage you to, if you want to use the chat, I will do my best to answer those. Hopefully you were able to get set up with an account. And if you have any questions, you can email us at info@helpseeker.org, and we're more than happy to help as well. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I hope everybody has a great day.